I want to have a conversation about something that's been on my mind. One, I'm 24. I turn 25 next month, literally in under 4 weeks, and I'm starting to feel what they've been talking about as far as the frontal lobe. Man. You guys tell me if I'm tripping, man. But first, let's start out. I just want to say welcome. Thank you so much for visiting my YouTube channel. I do appreciate every new or current subscriber. I come out with these videos to be more intentional with high vibration talks and just becoming better. But getting right back on topic, I personally feel like, man, like my frontal lobe been developed, like it's been developing for real. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the thoughts that I had as a kid, as a teen, even in my early 20s, 2-3 years ago, I do not agree with. Just to start it off for you guys, for anyone that's not 25 yet or anywhere close to your mid 20s, you will have a pivotal point in time where you start questioning your decisions, questioning if you made the right choices in your come up stage. I want to say your early adulthood. Frontal lobe isn't you just wake up one day and you think differently. It's a period. It's periods of life. I feel like mine's really started last year October. I just wanted more for myself, even though, like, of course, I've always been naturally ambitious and goal oriented. It was something like deeper, and I'm explaining the phase that I'm in now, by the way, so you can have a better understanding of it. But the best way to put it is like, first you start recapping your life so far, right? A quarter, your quarter in your life, you know what I'm saying? You start thinking like about the people you dated. You start thinking about the money you could have saved, the money you spent, the trips you took. And I think honestly my life has been pretty good, especially from where I come from. I come from a place, a background where a lot of people didn't graduate, a lot of people never made it out their hometown. I was able to do that, so just knowing that itself, I know I'm on the right path. But other points too that's very important is like, I'm starting to question, like, damn, a lot of my beliefs that I thought I had and a lot of the beliefs that I thought was normal or like that was the way to go is not, and I don't even like go, I don't even dwell into that mindset anymore. Like, for example, right, I used to think it was just cool to hurry up and get married and buy a house and like have kids and the nuclear family, etc., and the norm that we've been brainwashed with for the past 50 years. I'm starting to think like, is that the route that I really want to go? I'm not saying I eventually don't want a family, because I do, but I'm just starting to think like that isn't a time thing. That isn't an age, by this age thing, or like, by your 30s you should have this, that age thing, or you should have this by this age. That is messing up a lot of people, and I feel like that was another thing I had to break out of. Like me being 24, I don't really care. I care, but I don't care like that about marriage. I just don't personally. I feel like, of course I want to contribute my life to somebody, but I don't think that that's something that is genuinely the common norm that works for everybody nowadays. I do feel like it's an ancient concept. There's no way that automobiles change, technology changed, the medicine changed, the way we build things changed, cars changed, just airplanes changed, everything changed, but yet we're supposed to keep these same ideologies from hundreds of years ago. Like, we're not in that same just society no more. It was easy to go to your local vendor or something in your small town and marry the first girl you see. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's where people kind of got mixed up a little bit. I've dated people in my past recently. Like, when I say recent, I mean like the past years. I really started trying to do the relationship heavy like in my early 20s, which personally, waste of time. I'm not gonna lie to you. 80% was a waste of time. I dealt with my biggest mistake, and it's just a second point, right? Going back to your beliefs and a lot of things that you might think is normal, but it's not. Then you're gonna start to, get rid of these ideologies. I dated people because I felt like we matched in that moment or those first months, and I felt like, yeah, this is my person and this is the way to go. But as I got older, I started realizing like about trauma, right? About needs and wants and like, love languages, etc. Like, there's more points than a relationship than just liking somebody, marrying them, y'all have kids. Like, it's just, that is a very complex way of thinking. And I feel like we're humans, we have thoughts, we have feelings, we change, we grow. And I felt like personally, like, that was my biggest thing. A lot of people that I dated actually ended up becoming more of a nuisance and a con than a pro in my life, you know. And I had to do a lot of work to get rid of these individuals, you know. Just people that I put all my trust in, and like, you know, you give your energy and time and alignment to people, and like, let's say they cheat or something, or somewhere's not aligned with you. Now you have to break off that energy. You have to break off that energy that can turn into trauma if you're not doing shadow work. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like a lot of my problem, not trying to be on some victim mentality shit, but a lot of my problems really came from other people. And you know, when you trust yourself, or you have a gut feeling about yourself to tell you like, maybe you should be alone, or maybe you should do this alone, or maybe you should just believe in yourself and just be patient, follow that, you know. Just because someone we're gonna go there, fuck it. Just because someone is making you feel good at a period of your life where maybe you're down or you don't feel the best version of yourself, doesn't mean that's your person, unfortunately. Sometimes we just probably need support, and the universe understands that a counterpart of a season can help us elevate or teach us certain things about ourselves that we didn't know in the past. And you have to know the distinction between a season and a lifetime with people. You know, you might have lifetime friends, you might have lifetime relationships, but you also have seasonal friends and you have seasonal relationships, and that's something that I had to embrace and just be honest about as well too. You know, like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that I wasn't a problem at a point in my life, but I would say as far as relationships, you know, it's deeper than just having kids and getting married. You know, you want to make sure that person have core values as you. If you have to leave this earth, God forbid, can that person carry on your legacy? Can that person, you know, contribute towards your purpose and what you were doing? You know, it's deeper than just getting married. And even marriage itself, I don't even think like, if I don't get married in this lifetime, I don't care, you know. And I'm not saying I don't care in the sense where it's negative, but most importantly, like, that's just not my focus all the way in my lifetime. My focus is inspiring people, you know, helping people become better. Like, that gives me more satisfaction than putting a ring on the finger, you know. And just using that as a metaphor and analogy to show you guys, you know, there's other things that maybe you can, you know, embrace more, you know. Another thing I would say too, time, you might think you have a lot of time, but you don't. You know, a lot of the time that you think just send down, or I could do this next week, I could do it tomorrow, it comes quicker than you think. You know, like I said, bro, it feels like I just turned 20 yesterday, and like I'm already about to turn 25, and like even in my early 20s, I'd be like, damn, what did I do? Like my early 20s was such a blur. Like, I remember, of course, but like it just went so quick. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I struggled a lot in my early 20s. You know, I went through a lot of things in my early 20s, but now I feel good. I feel confident. And, you know, I'm finally stable energetically, not just with money, you know. I know my thought process. I know what makes me feel good and what doesn't. And, like, I stand on that now, you know. It's not just something I'm just talking about, you know. I'm just, you know, I'm yapping about. It's something I embrace more, you know. But if you're somebody who you've been questioning the frontal lobe development, and most importantly just your thought process, bro, you're gonna change. You're gonna change more than you think. You're gonna question a lot of things more than you think, but most importantly, it feels good, and it feels like something that is aligned with growth, you know. If you're not questioning your life, or you're not questioning anything, 9 times out of 10 you're not growing. And wherever you're at, environment, people, place, relationship, whatever, job, is not for you. You're stagnant, you know. And energetically, when you're stagnant, that is the worst. That's the worst thing to be. You know, energy moves. You know, movement, alignment. These are all things that's correlated with being a human being. You know, when you're an actual human being, not just existing, you're actually becoming better. You're embracing nature, etc. You're gonna be blessed. There's no question or anything above it. You're going to be blessed, and you're going to be the most in tune with yourself, because you're out of that pool of technology. You're out of that pool of consuming things that's not actually something you agree with or in your ideology. It's something that is actually, you're going to see, like, you're going to actually feel the growth, you know. But I love y'all, man. You know, life is different. I wouldn't have pictured it to be like this, not in a bad way or anything like that, but it's just very interesting. But I look forward to it, and I think most importantly, you know, the more I become consistent, and we'll grow, you know, and we'll align ourselves with things and people and environments that's for us. But I love y'all, and I'm out.